What's up, YouTube? It's the Console Samurai from Grown Ups Gaming, and Konami has actually been in the news a fair amount in the last few weeks, maybe last few months. Starting with Hideo Kojima and him being let go, and his name reappearing and disappearing and reappearing on Konami's websites and Metal Gear Solid websites and Silent Hill's website, things like that. Well, yesterday was also announced that Norman Reedus, the expected star of the new Silent Hills game, which was the newest entry in the survival horror series. I mean, it was just a very popular series of Silent Hill. He was not only was he not going to be the star in it, that game is being canceled, not postponed, not delayed, not we ran into production difficulties. That's it. They have essentially killed the Silent Hill franchise. And I read an article actually that kind of explains maybe why they've done this. It was also announced yesterday, right after, or right around the same time they announced that Silent Hills was canceled. It was also announced that as of Friday last week, Konami is no longer on the New York Stock Exchange. And I kind of read about why they did it, and it didn't really make, not all of it made sense because I don't really understand the stock market as much as many other people do. But I got the gist of it. The reason why they're doing it is because they have noticed that most of their business comes from Japan and Europe, and that this was a money-saving move, and that they're also going to be delisted from the SEC as of June, I believe they said. Which, that's fine. I understand. You look around, you go, all right, well, our business is not really coming from here. Why should we continue to trade stock in the United States if it's a really small, it's a drop in the bucket. Not as far as sales or anything like that, just the stocks. Well, I went on and I read another article that kind of explains a little more background as to maybe why they did this. As I said, the whole thing was to save money, and it seems that Konami has actually been in some financial difficulty for the last few years. You see, last fiscal year, the one that ended in March 31st, 2014, Konami went ahead and they invested $26 billion with a B, $26 billion back into their own company out of the $8 billion that they had in profit the previous year, out of which was projected to be $27 billion. So some of the math whizzes watching this are probably going, wait, they invested $26 billion out of $8 billion? That doesn't work. That's $18 million lost. And you're entirely correct. That is. And the year before that, they had lost several $billion, but I didn't really get an exact number on how much they lost. But it does look like Konami is actually kind of in the hole. And that really does possibly explain why they aren't doing Silent Hills anymore. They may not have the budget to invest into this game anymore. Because, granted, while Konami is a huge company, and probably $18 billion is not going to break the bank, that's still $18 billion that they've lost. And I'm sure they're kind of going to start being much more careful. They're going to start streamlining and focusing on things. We've seen this time and time again in other companies that have lost money. Excuse me. Such as Capcom. Capcom started shutting down their franchises. They ended Mega Man. They ended several others. They sold off a couple just to keep the lights on. And in the end, it actually didn't really work for them. But tell me what you think in the comments down below. Do you think Konami is an actual danger? Do you think that Konami may actually close once and for all? Well, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Once again, I am the Console Samurai, and I'll see you around.